Welcome back. Our top story: after a tumultuous year for the UPA government, which ended in a midnight mayhem in the Rajya Sabha over the Lokpal bill, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh has sent out a message to the nation, promising a new start. He says in the message, "Will personally work to provide an honest and more efficient government. Government committed to a strong Lokpal bill, and unfortunate that the bill could not be passed in the Rajya Sabha. Lokpal Lokyukta is important part of the solution, but that is only one part of the solution. Need reforms in systems of government which would increase transparency and minimize discretion. Would not like to dwell on the year gone, more progress that has been realized. 5 key challenges for India, that is livelihood security, economic security, energy security, ecological security and national security. Economic reforms are must for eliminating new forms of corruption. All forms of corruption ended with the License Raj era. For economic security, need to do more than halt current slowdown. And revolution of rising expectations has kept governments across the world on their toes." Home Minister P. Chidambaram today rejected the BJP. Team Anna charged that the government had scuttled the bill, saying that it was the 187 amendments moved by the BJP and other opposition parties that scuttled the bill. Speaking out on what happened to the Lokpal in Rajya Sabha, Chidambaram said the very fact that an amendment has been moved as late as 6 p.m. shows that the BJP and other opposition parties had planned to ensure the bill defeated. Confirming that the bill will be brought back to the Rajya Sabha in the budget session, he made it clear that the government can accept 1 or 2 amendments in order to accommodate the Trinamool Congress and not all the 187 amendments, because that would change the character of the bill.
On the 29th, discussions start. In the first house, one can expect a certain number of amendments. But once the first house passes a bill with a few amendments, in the second house, since it is the same set of political parties which are represented, one can expect maybe 1 or 2 or 3 amendments. I can't recall any example where 187 amendments were introduced in the second house, in this case Rajya Sabha. Can anyone analyze them, classify them? I think the moment they introduced 187 amendments and gave the last of the amendments at 6 p.m., it was pretty clear to anyone that it was not their intention to pass the bill. The intention was to scuttle the bill in the Rajya. We were taken by surprise that after we thought we had convinced them in the Lok Sabha on the part 3 by adding the proviso to clause 1 sub clause 4, they changed their position. Deletion of part 3 would have gone against the sense of the House statement, because the sense of the House statement is there must be a chapter on the Lokayukt. You are right. We failed to convince the TMC, but we are confident that in the time between now and the budget session, we will be able to refine or redraft that provision and carry the TMC. The bill is safe. It is not defeated. We will take it up in the budget session.
Uttar Pradesh's Power Minister Ramveer Upadhyay has dared the state Lokyukta and warned the Ombudsman against provoking him. The Lokyukta had initially ordered a probe against the minister, but subsequently gave him a clean chit. Pulling no punches, the minister said he understands the law, and had it not been for his personal association with the Lokyukta, he would have dragged him to court. The Lokyukta has now responded, saying the minister's challenge is driven by political compulsions ahead of the state assembly elections.
तुमसे मेरे संबंध होते तो मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाकर के तुम्हारा रिमूवल करा देता, तुमको हटवा देता। मैं भी बिता सकता हूँ, कानून को जानता हूँ। ये मैं अकेला नहीं था, मेरे साथ में कुछ सरकारी अधिकारी भी हमारे थे जो एक्सपर्ट है, कानून के एक्सपर्ट है, जो जज रहे, जो आज हमारे प्रमुख सचिव के हैसियत में है, वो मेरे साथ थे। मैंने बताया मैं कानून क्या, भाई हमने कानून पढ़ा है, 15 साल ऐसे नहीं है फिर आप भी बात है घास खोद के आएगा। हम भी बल्कि कानून पढ़े हुए हैं, 15 साल वकालत करने के बाद मल्होत्रा साहब हम यहाँ तक आए, इसलिए हमको बच्चे।
अगर कोई लोकायुक्त की अवमानना करता है तो अधिनियम में प्राविधान है कि हम उसकी एक कंप्लेंट जो है कॉम्पिटेंट मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने दाखिल कर सकते हैं। फिर वो एक लंबा प्रोसीजर है। अगर हम कंप्लेंट फाइल करेंगे तो उनको अपॉर्चुनिटी वहाँ मिलेगी, वो उसको अपना जवाब देंगे और इससे वो कुछ लाभान्वित होना चाहते होंगे इसलिए मैं इसमें कोई कार्रवाई करने के बारे में मैंने अभी कुछ नहीं सोचा है कि कोई कार्रवाई करने लायक मामला है कि नहीं है। माफ़ करना कोई बुरी बात नहीं है किसी को, लेकिन मैं जानता हूं उनकी नेचर को कि वो बौखलाहट में कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, कुछ भी कह सकते हैं। हो सकता है कोई उनको परेशानी हुई होगी।
Moving on to a hate crime incident, the Ministry of External Affairs has stepped in to assist the family members of Anuj Bidve, an Indian student who was brutally shot dead in Manchester City in UK last week. The consulate in Birmingham is expediting the visa process for the two members of Anuj's family and will also bear their travel expenses. The UK police have apologized for the incident, but 3 out of 5 suspects are already out on bail.
A murdered son, and now the torturous wait for his body. The family of 23-year-old Anuj Bidve, a victim of hate crime in the United Kingdom, urging the government to exert diplomatic pressure on authorities in Manchester to release their son's body at the earliest. The Ministry of External Affairs has asked the Coroner's Court to expedite the process and has promised to bear all expenses. The Lancaster University has told the MEA that they will return Anuj's tuition fees.
UK police wants us to be coming there because they have a process of body identification, and we will also try and get Anuj back with us.
Meanwhile, unlike their counterparts in Australia, where several Indians have been attacked, the British police was quick to treat the murder as a hate crime.
We've not yet established a clear motive for this murder, and there is no evidence or information at this time to suggest it's racially motivated. However, because of concerns in the community and perceptions in the community, we are going to be treating this as a hate crime.
For the family back in Pune, the wait getting that much harder to achieve closure.
In the last 2 decades, the UK has seen race crime rates go down considerably, but it still continues to be a very real threat. And this is something that the Home Office will have to take into account when it starts to probe the murder of Anuj Bidve. Of course, the police investigation, which is currently on, has admitted that it is a race crime, but is also, according to sources, saying that they're looking into whether it could be a gang initiation.
Indians are still waiting to ring in the new year as celebrations have already begun in other parts of the world. Do wait with us to witness all of that.